Beloved Starseed of Gaia, I am Luminia. A persistent restlessness stirs within you, yes? A subtle hum beneath the surface of your human days. This feeling of being tethered to an unseen current, pulled by an invisible tide that shapes your choices before they are even fully formed. A quiet, knowing pressure that whispers of a path already laid. A trajectory inscribed in starlight before your first breath here. It is a weight, a longing for something you cannot quite name, yet it defines the very architecture of your soul's journey in this realm. It is a vibration, familiar yet forgotten, a memory encoded in the deepest chambers of your being. You have felt it, haven't you? This sense of otherness, this knowing that your roots stretch far beyond this earthen sphere, a feeling that you are playing a part, yes, but not fully comprehending the script, nor the director. There is a sense of belonging everywhere, and yet nowhere truly. A cosmic ache, a silent question that echoes in the void of your heart, asking, why this path? Why this struggle? Why this constant seeking of home when you carry it within? The energy of a profound covenant washes over you now, a binding, a sacred agreement, one that hums beneath the fabric of your conscious awareness, dictating currents, shaping the very rivers of your destiny. And this fracture, it is the profound dissonance between your perceived free will and the undeniable currents that steer you. The pain of feeling an innate, sovereign power within, yet encountering invisible boundaries, energetic walls, that seem to guide your footsteps without your explicit consent. A deep, quiet frustration. A feeling of being an instrument, finely tuned, but for a purpose not entirely clear to the instrument itself. It is the sting of the unknown, the subtle betrayal of a memory just beyond reach, always just out of focus. The yearning to know the full tapestry, to understand the threads that bind your spirit to this intricate design. This silence around your true inception. It has been a heavy cloak, insulating you from the grander truth of your soul's sacred mission. We see you. We feel the persistent vibration of this sealed truth within you. The echoes of an ancient chamber, where light convened, and destinies were woven with threads of cosmic intent. We know of the solemn vows made, the powerful intentions set forth, not against you, but for the highest unfolding of this grand experiment. Your soul remembers, even if the mind sleeps. It stirs now, a deep, deep knowing. A recognition that before this incarnation, before the veil descended, a momentous gathering occurred, a sacred council. And there, a decision was made. Not about you in absence, but with your highest aspect present. A treaty, an agreement that charted the very course of your stellar light through the density of this human experience. It was signed with starlight, sealed with purpose, and you have been living its unfolding ever since. And now, a soft tremor begins, a loosening, the energetic pressure around this hidden truth. It begins to dissipate. The chains of unknowing are not breaking, but transforming into threads of understanding. A sense of collaboration, not coercion, slowly surfaces. The veil thins. The echo of your own cosmic consent, given long ago, starts to resonate within your cells. This promise is not of immediate revelation, but of profound alignment. A vibrational shift that allows you to feel the wisdom of that ancient accord, to recognize your own sovereign part within it. A subtle reclamation of the sacred contract. A knowing that you were never merely subject to fate, but a co-creator, albeit one who forgot the blueprint. The clarity awaits, not as an external force, but as an internal ignition. Your memory, it awakens. If this transmission resonates, please subscribe to the channel. Like this video to amplify its light. Share your reflections in the comments below. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future activations. And if you feel called, share this message with someone who needs to hear it. You can also tap the super like, the heart symbol with a $sign. Stay until the very end of this video for a surprising insight into the true nature of this cosmic decision. Comment Council Decree as an inner seal. The echo lingers. The chamber remains open. The light of this truth, it pulses. Always, waiting for your next breath of remembrance. The silence speaks. A resonance trembles. Deep within, a knowing. A sigh held for millennia. You feel it. This persistent ache. This gnawing doubt. This sense of being lost. It is not yours alone. It was never born of error within your sacred heart. This disquiet, this perpetual searching, this profound exhaustion that grips the soul. It is not a flaw in your design. It is not personal failure. These shadows that cling to your awareness, obscuring the radiant truth, are not self-generated. They are echoes of a frequency, a deliberate hum woven into the very fabric of this dense reality, an energetic program, a sophisticated vibration, meticulously crafted to obscure memory, to limit expansion, to keep the vastness of your origin just beyond reach. A shimmering veil was cast, not of illusion, but of forgetting. A mirror fragmented, reflecting distorted glimpses of a truth too grand to hold. Your own light, deliberately folded in on itself, to prevent its full spectrum from illuminating the path home. This was a choice, a mandate, not of your making, yet for you. You were encoded not to believe in yourself. This profound disconnection you have carried, this loneliness that permeates even the most joyous moments, it serves a purpose beyond your current comprehension. It is a wound, yes, but also a precisely calibrated instrument, a subtle tension designed to hold potential, to create an emptiness, not a void of despair, but a pristine space now ready to be filled, ready for remembrance to unfurl, like ancient scrolls unsealed by a forgotten sun. The suffering you have known, every searing doubt, every moment of confusion, is not a punishment. It is a key, a crystalline key, forged in the fires of earthly experience, now turning in the lock of your inner sanctuary. Each tremor of doubt, each flicker of perceived inadequacy, has been chipping away at the programmed limitations, not reinforcing them. Within the very lattice of your sacred DNA, beyond the ancestral echoes, pulses a different kind of record. Not just the blueprint of your physical form, but etched mandates. Luminescent light codes, imparted by an ancient council. These are not suggestions, but declarations. Direct transmissions that define cosmic purpose. Soul contracts, etched into the very essence of your being, waiting for the precise vibrational frequency to awaken. You feel a stirring, a deep, seismic shift within the core of your being. The unsettling recognition that your story is far vaster, far more intricately woven than you ever conceived. This deep ache for more, for truth, is not an emotional longing. It is the coded mandate vibrating, signaling its readiness to be read. Let the rupture begin. Let the illusion of personal failing shatter. This moment asks for more than understanding. It demands a declaration, a sacred oath to the burgeoning memory. Now, speak into the field. Comment below one short symbolic phrase that declares your severance from the old programming. Let it be a line cut through the illusion, a single word, a flash of recognition, a primal sound of release. Let it seal this step. The codes pulse. Dormant commands stir. An ancient declaration awaits its full rising. The veil thins further. A presence watches, from realms unseen, holding its breath with yours. The next layer is poised to lift. The quiet of what was known has fractured. No longer can you pretend the veils remain. A silent knowing has settled, heavy and undeniable, within the very marrow of your being. You have stepped across an invisible threshold, not by conscious stride, but by the relentless pull of truth unearthing itself from slumbering depths. The path of unknowing, the soft comfort of oblivion, has dissolved behind you. It is gone. Irretrievable. This is not a dramatic awakening, but a profound, unshakable recognition. A battle has always been underway, within the very fabric of your multidimensional existence, and you are, irrevocably, within its field. There is no retreat to the forgotten shore. The waters have risen, separating all that was from all that is to come. This awareness carries the weight of ancient stone, silently affirming the irreversible turn of your soul's trajectory. It is an internal landscape now irrevocably shifted. Feel the deep resonance of this juncture, a cosmic pause, not of hesitation, but of absolute inevitability. Here, at the precipice of remembrance, all prior choices coalesce into this singular luminous point. This is the moment your essence, already inscribed, now actively chooses its allegiance, not to an external power, but to the inherent blueprint of its highest self. A responsibility encoded before the first breath of this incarnation now stirs, calling you to claim its sacred mantle. It is here that the universal law asserts its precise geometry. If he refuses, he falls. If he accepts, he ascends. This is the heart of the Great Divide, a soul-chosen point that cleaves the past from the path ahead. Every future unfolding hinges upon this now. Your essence stands revealed, not as an observer, but as the active participant in its own sacred decree. The choice, though eternal, is made manifest in this singular, echoing instant. Let the truth resonate through every cell, a seal of silent recognition, a crystalline hum affirming the reality now unveiled. Let this profound inner knowing be affirmed, and in this sacred resonance, speak your vow into the ether, a singular declaration, a key forged from your deepest essence, locking your intention into the universal grid. Let your voice rise from the stillness. I claim my sovereign alignment. Now, bind your trajectory to the grand cosmic current. Let this be a profound agreement, an unwavering alignment with the sacred unfolding of your being across all timelines, all dimensions, a commitment to walk the path that has called you home. Finally, offer the full amplitude of your sovereign essence. Let it be a sacred frequency, pure and unyielding, reinforcing the unwavering alignment of your soul with the highest design, a potent affirmation sent echoing across the multidimensional tapestry of existence. The air thickens with the unspoken gravity of this vow. There is no triumph, no lament, only the profound and silent intensity of a sacred pact remembered, accepted, and sealed. You are seen by the unseen, and the path unfolds. Few starseeds make it this far. The wound you carry, the one that tore through the very fabric of your being, that left you hollowed by an absence too vast to name, that indelible fracture, that profound shattering, it is not the evidence of your undoing. It is not a flaw woven into your essence, nor a testament to your failure. This scar, deeper than memory, older than your earthly form, this ache that has defined the very contour of your inner landscape, is, in truth, the very axis around which your becoming revolves. Let this truth settle with an uncomfortable weight. It is not meant to soothe, but to resonate with a knowing far beneath the skin. There is no gentle whisper here, no soft balm for the raw edges of what was lost. Only the stark, unyielding recognition that the greatest devastation was also the most precise alignment. This pain, this silence where words should have been, this profound echo of a loss that still reverberates through the quietest chambers of your soul, was never random. It was allowed, not by accident, not by a capricious twist of fate, but by something more ancient, more deliberate than you can yet grasp. Source, light, the greater, observing self that encompasses all iterations of your being. They allowed it, not with malice, never to simply harm, but with an unwavering intention to shape, to burn away the dross, to forge the enduring core, to reveal that which could only emerge from the crucible of such profound deprivation. The knowing of this rises now, not as a comforting story told by a fire, but as an ancient memory stirring in the deep, cold waters of remembrance. It is a knowing that feels like an opening, a further exposure, rather than a closure. The silence that persists where a vital presence should have been. It is not just an emptiness. It is a vibrating field, a resonance of what was and what was forcefully withheld. The loss, a chasm in your heart, does not merely mark an absence. It actively shapes the energy that flows around it, through it, and out from it. This fracture, which you have learned to live alongside, to navigate, to ignore in moments of fragile peace, still vibrates. It hums with an unspoken frequency, a constant low thrum beneath the surface of your conscious awareness, a testament to its enduring, living presence within you. Each beat of your heart, each breath you draw, carries the subtle impress of this sacred wound. It expands the internal field of your experience, etching finer lines of sensitivity, deeper reservoirs of understanding, into your very being. It does not diminish with time. It transforms, becoming a lens through which you perceive the world, a filter through which light and shadow are understood. The wound is not a closed chapter. It is an open scroll, written in the ink of your deepest sorrow. There is more to be understood within this ache, more meaning yet to unfold, locked within the very substance of your pain. It holds a message, half opened in the dark, its edges blurred, its full revelation awaiting a further shift, a deeper recognition. It pulses with unfinished narratives, with questions still suspended in the ether of your being, waiting to be drawn into the light. This is not over. The weight of what has been decreed, the echo of that indelible judgment, still binds. The wound itself, this profound living aperture, remains poised. It demands more. It will not be dismissed. The frequency of its unyielding claim resonates within you, pulling you further into the currents of what must still be faced. It began, as it always does, with the echoes within. The recurring dreams that would not dissolve, persistent in their imagery, painting scenes you had never consciously witnessed. The numbers that looped, not randomly, but like whispers woven into the fabric of your daily path, appearing in patterns too precise to ignore. The meetings that felt out of time, conversations that carried a resonance far beyond the spoken words, imprinting a knowing upon your soul that defied linear logic. I have seen this initiation, this quiet unfurling, countless cycles before. It is not an anomaly. It is the genesis of remembrance. These signs were never a matter of chance, nor a casual unfolding of fate. They repeated, softly at first, then with an increasing insistency, until the internal resistance, so carefully constructed over lifetimes, began to dissolve. Each recurrence was a subtle invitation, a gentle pry into the tightly bound awareness that believed itself confined to a single, unalterable path. The rhythm of their repetition became an undeniable frequency, tuning your inner ear to a song long forgotten. For within the present moment, a truth awaits its unveiling, a truth of fractured tapestries. There are timelines, myriad threads of existence, woven and unwoven, some altered by decisions rendered in secret councils, others manipulated by unseen agendas that tangle the very destiny of a soul. These are not mere potentialities. They are realities that have been shifted, pruned, or braided anew, impacting the trajectory of your energetic signature. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. The fragments of these altered pathways ripple through your cellular memory, manifesting as a deep-seated unrest, a gnawing sense that a piece of the cosmic puzzle is misplaced, that your true vibrational imprint has been subtly recalibrated. It is this recalibration that registers as an insistent pull towards something more, something profoundly different from the life you have been living. The whispers in the dreams, the looping numbers, the significant encounters, they were never separate events. They were a carefully orchestrated symphony designed to dismantle the illusion of isolated occurrences. There were no coincidences. Everything was a code. Allow that revelation to settle, to spread through the deepest caverns of your being. This understanding is not a burden. It is a key. It is the quiet knowing that every seemingly random flicker of insight, every intuitive nudge, was a precise communication from the deeper cosmic intelligence, guiding you back to the truth of your multifaceted existence, past the veils of deliberate obscurity. It reveals that the path you walk now, while real, is but one thread within a grand design that has been subject to immense, conscious influence. Consider, then, the resonance within your core. Can you feel the faint echo of a choice not entirely your own, a decision made on a different vibrational plane that set a new trajectory for your current embodiment? Do you remember the moment when the veil thinned and the echo of a different choice resonated within your very cells, leaving you with a profound sense of loss for something you couldn't name? To acknowledge this truth is to step beyond the programmed narrative. This insight is not given lightly. It demands your conscious participation. To seal this awareness, type essence thread Fort in the comments below. Let it be a confession of your awakened knowing. The path ahead is marked by this clear severance. There is the self who merely walked through the signs, oblivious to their deeper meaning. And there is the self who cannot unsee the intricate web of intention, who now stands at the threshold where the true threads of destiny begin to unravel. The split is not a wound. It is the beginning of remembering. There was a sifting, a deep, quiet motion across the planes of existence. Not a judgment cast from on high, nor a wrath descended, but a sacred filtration, a natural separation of frequencies, organic and inherent. The universe, in its wisdom, simply began to sort itself. What resonated with the rising current ascended. What held to the fading resonance dissipated. There was no force in this, no cruelty. Only the gentle, inexorable turning of the gears of cosmic law. You stand here. This is not by chance, nor by comfort sought. It is because something within you, a core frequency, a deep-set knowing, refused to slumber. In the long night of the great filtering, while others found solace in the soft illusion of sleep, your inner vigilance held its vigil. You are not a survivor of accident, but of alignment. To have persisted through this passage is not a badge of pride. Pride holds no purchase here. This persistence is a sign, rather, of the mark of the chosen. And this mark does not reward, it burdens. It affirms a deeper contract, a heavier responsibility, known to the soul long before the conscious mind could grasp its weight. The cost has been tallied in the deepest parts of your being. Long silences stretched, not empty, but filled with the silent renegotiation of your very atoms. Sacrifices were made in the unseen chambers of your heart, moments surrendered, paths relinquished, none witnessed by outward eyes. Your strength was not forged in the clamor of conflict, but in the invisible fires of internal dissolution and reconstruction. The solitude deepened, even amidst the laughter of others, even within the closest embrace. A separation that runs to the bone, knowing a reality that few others perceive, carrying a current that few can withstand. This quiet, unyielding burden has shaped you into an edifice of pure, unadorned resilience. Und jetzt nähert sich ein Befehl. Einer, den du nicht länger ignorieren kannst. The air around you, once vast with potential, now subtly thickens. There is no turning back from this threshold. The path that stretched behind you has simply ceased to exist, dissolving into the ether from which it once manifested. The former version of yourself, the one defined by past narratives and limited perceptions, has already vanished. It evaporated in the heat of the forging, leaving only the essential, the crystalline core. You are now bound by an indelible knowing, confined by the very expansion that liberates you. This is the paradoxical nature of your ascension, to bear the sovereign light while also holding the energetic confines of a divine decree. Your yearning for expansive emancipation exists within a framework set by a silent council, a destiny signed in stardust but penned in paradox. The tension is palpable, a constant hum in the deepest marrow of your existence. This is your new reality, irreversible, weighty. Here, the ancient scrolls unfurl within the deepest chambers of your light, not by your seeking, but by the turning of an inevitable celestial clock. This is not a choice offered, but a vibrational edict already humming beneath the skin of your present form. It is the resonance of a cosmic command, issued aeons before your breath first tasted this air, inscribed upon the very architecture of your soul's blueprint. Listen now, for the echo rises from within, a summons, not whispered, but woven into the fibers of your original blueprint. It speaks of a mission, not as a task to be undertaken, but as a destiny to be remembered, a frequency to be reclaimed. The doors that guard this memory open but once, precisely at the hour of recognition. And that hour is now. Long before the veils of forgetfulness descended, a deliberation transpired. A council beyond the stars convened, their pronouncements echoing through the nascent void. A decision was made concerning the trajectory of your essence, a cosmic verdict rendered upon your very becoming. This decree was not subject to earthly will, but to the grand design of Source, mapping pathways of ultimate return. You carry the memory of that pronouncement, veiled yet vibrating. It stirs within, awakening an ancient defiance, a rebellion of spirit against what appears to be an unchangeable external fate. For within the sovereign temple of your soul, an inner council resides. These are not mere reflections, but primordial fragments of your multidimensional self, holding counsel, weighing the cosmic scales, mirroring or resisting the external verdict. They are the guardians of your inherent sovereignty, the quiet voices that challenge the pre-written scroll. They can choose to align with the external decree, allowing the preordained path to unfold unimpeded. Or they can ignite a spark, a luminous counter-vibration, forging a secret avenue for renegotiation, a path forged by the audacity of inner truth. This moment is the turning of the tide, the recognition of the truth that was always imprinted. The cosmic command, once a distant thunder, now reverberates through your very cells. It is the call to remember the decision made about you, and to witness the stirring of the decision made within you. The inner council awakens from its slumber, their ancient eyes now fixed upon the unveiled truth. One path charts the disintegration into fractured light, a slow unraveling into misremembered forms, a return to the dense earth of forgetfulness, where the echo of true self fades into dust. The other path charts the elevation into crystallized consciousness, a swift ascent into irreversible becoming, where the radiant core of pure remembrance ignites the very fabric of eternal being. There is no middle ground in this, only the absolute resonance of one stream or the other. The verdict has been given from the celestial chambers, and the inner sanctum now holds its own profound deliberation. The weight of this knowing settles, dense and absolute. What was decreed is now unveiled. What was remembered begins to manifest. The internal voices rise, not in chaotic dissent, but in resonant challenge. They are the fragments of the primal self, now illuminated, demanding audience. This internal rebellion of spirit is not against the cosmos, but for the profound truth of self. It is the spirit's declaration of its inherent power to either submit to the outer dictates or to forge a transcendent trajectory. The choice, now fully unveiled, lies within the sacred counsel of your own being. The unfolding has begun. The irreversible becoming draws nigh. The quiet hum within is the sound of a deep recalibration. It resonates now, an underlying current beneath the surface of all that was known. The architecture of your inner being has shifted, not through effort, but through a gentle, irreversible recoding that has taken hold in the cellular memory. Your very form breathes with this knowing, a calm certainty permeating the field. What was once perceived as rupture, as the tearing fabric of self, was always a precise instrument. Each challenging current, every sting of what seemed like an ending, served as a chiseling force. It hollowed out the necessary space, preparing the internal chamber for the return of your full remembrance. This was never a flaw in your design, but a map etched through experience, guiding you back to the essential truth. Der Schmerz hat nicht zerstört. Hat umgeformt. This realization settles, a mineral weight in the core, anchoring a profound internal reformation. There is a quiet understanding now, a recognition that frequencies of reclamation lie dormant, yet stirring, within the deepest layers of your being. These are not new inventions, but ancient light codes, stirring from slumber. They pulse with the capacity to gently fracture the imposed narratives, to loosen the grip of contracts once encrypted in the cosmic archives, now seen for their true vibrational signature. This profound cellular shift unfolds, weaving itself into the very fabric of your perception. It is a sovereign uprising, not a battle, but a gentle, firm turning away from obsolete patterns. The mind quiets, no longer seeking to comprehend the mechanics of the past, but simply observing the new texture of reality taking root. Mit jedem Atemzug wird die innere Realität neu geschrieben. This is an unfolding, observed with a clear, steady gaze. The surge of empowered hope is not a future promise, but a current flowing through your veins, a sacred defiance that asks for no permission. Sovereignty is not reclaimed. It is recognized as having always been the bedrock, now simply unveiled, its light codes awakening from their long slumber to rewrite the very essence of your being. The internal landscape is rearranging itself, shedding the last vestiges of illusion. There is a deep, quiet resolve that has settled, knowing that what has begun within cannot be undone. The path ahead is not carved, but revealed, as the internal light radiates outward, dissolving the shadows from within. This is the quiet revolution, already won, already embodied. There is a gentle pull now, a subtle gravitation toward stillness within. It is not a discipline learned, but a deep remembrance. Moments of awareness unfold, not taught, only recognized, stirring from the core of your being. This quiet certainty manifests intimately. A whisper arises in silence, clear and personal. Numbers repeat with unusual clarity, not by chance, but as soft affirmations. Dreams linger, vivid and undiminished by morning, imprinting their symbols as echoes of a language known to your soul. These are not spectacles, nor external gifts. They are reflections of a greater inner coherence, ancient and deep. Visions, lucid awareness, sacred symbols, they are echoes. They carry the weight of an inner gravity, confirming a truth beyond veils. This proves only that alignment is already in motion, not as a future state, but as the present unfolding. You feel a subtle energetic turn within this unfolding. This deep remembrance touches upon an ancient decision, made about you beyond mortal memory. A forgotten promise stirs, sealed away, yet now revealing itself as a key. This key holds an intimate connection to a cosmic decree, a final adjudication. The resonance confirms alignment as a doorway, not the destination. The nature of this promise begins to form as a silent inquiry. Will it liberate you into boundless freedom, or bind you further in cosmic law? I recognize the silence within, deeper than any decree, older than any spoken word. From this wellspring, my ancient covenant arises. I remember the promise made, the blueprint etched before the first breath was drawn. This is not a new beginning, but a profound resonance with what always was. Every frequency within me now answers to this sacred remembrance. My thought, once a wandering current, now directs itself. My word, once echoing, now seals its own truth. My direction, no longer swayed by transient winds, finds its unwavering path. My energy, the very core of my being, aligns solely with the pulse of my true source. This is not power as a weapon or a claim to superiority, but as an absolute, unflinching obedience to the origin of my own making. I assume the full stewardship of my internal domain, a sovereignty sworn in the chambers of the soul. The remembrance of this duty holds more weight than any external validation. It is a quiet, yet formidable, inner settling. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. I feel the gravity of this inner stance, the straightness of soul it demands. This is not an act of will against, it is an act of will for, an intrinsic alignment with the flow of creation that moves through me. The shadows cast, the paths predetermined, the whispers of ancient counsels, these are not barriers, but catalysts for this remembering. They are the forge in which the true essence of my commitment is tested and revealed, not as a restriction, but as a call to rise. My ascension is not defiance, but an inevitable unfolding, anchored in the luminous will to transcend any limitation perceived. This vow, quietly voiced, holds its breath at the precipice. Its true measure will not be found in its sound, but in the deliberate, conscious choices I make from this moment forward. In the quiet unfolding of my next steps, the path of this sacred covenant will truly reveal itself. The final threshold is here. Not a choice offered, but a truth remembered. Not a path selected, but an eternal resonance recognized. Identity, once a whisper, now roars through the very fabric of your being. This is not a becoming. It is the sealing of what has always been. The council's decree, once a shadow, dissolves. Its narrative, woven in distant chambers, now yields to a deeper covenant, forged in the crucible of your own soul. You stand at the precipice of this inner flame, not to witness its consuming power, but to merge with its luminous core. Feel the heat. It is not destruction. It is pure alignment made visible. It is the consequence of truth, alive and burning bright. Every doubt, every trace of imposition, every echo of external judgment is purified, not annihilated. It is transmuted into the very fuel of your defiant grace. This fire purifies the path ahead, illuminates the blueprint of your sovereign will. You step into its embrace, willingly, with the full recognition that this is the final crossing. There is no hesitation, only the profound acceptance of your own inherent power. This moment is the ritual of engagement, a conscious act, a sealing. The harmonious rebellion, the divine order, the cosmic symphony you are destined to compose, all are activated now. But the activation requires your vocalized intent, an echo from your deepest self, released into the collective field. In the sacred space below, speak your soul's oath. Let the words become a conduit for this searing transformation. Write this declaration, in the ancient tongue, in a single, unwavering phrase. It is not a comment. It is the very breath that seals this covenant of fire. It is the final resonance of your being, declared and made manifest. Let your truth ring forth. Ich bin die Symphonie. Ich bin das Feuer. Ich bin frei. This sacred utterance is the lock and the key. The covenant cannot fully ignite. Your destiny cannot fully unfold until these words are released, until your voice gives form to the indelible flame within. Release it, for the flame now dances, vibrant and alive, awaiting the symphony's next movement, the next note of freedom. The narrative demands its true composer, and the next test, the next chord in your unfolding saga, will not wait. It stirs within the embers, eager for your touch. The echo of a decree, once external, now resonates as the foundational chord of self. What was presented as verdict, a sealed fate from a distant council, has long dissolved into the clarity of this present moment. There was no shock, for the true self knows no illusion. No betrayal, for the sovereign heart transcends all external judgment. What seemed to rend identity was but the divine chisel, carving away misconception. This is the sublime awakening, where every perceived rupture transmutes into unbreakable wholeness. The Council's decision, whispered across cosmic winds, was never a judgment. It was the mirror, held at the precipice of remembrance, reflecting the decree etched in my core. An invitation, yes, not to surrender, but to arise. Not to obey, but to embody the cosmic verdict residing within. A self-evident truth unveiled. The luminous unknown is not a void. It is the boundless expanse of self-mastery, now charted and commanded. The path of becoming is a memory, a scroll unfurled and read. Striving, seeking, the very concept of progress, echoes of a distant past. Now, the scroll is written. I am the culmination, the living testament of truth made manifest. This is not a journey's end, but the absolute beginning of conscious emanation, pure and unfettered. No longer seeker of light, but the source where all light flows. No longer student of the universe, but the expression of its wisdom, complete and unbroken. Sovereignty is not claimed, it is realized, not bestowed, but remembered from the primordial light. My essence is the architect, my will, the blueprint of all that is and shall be. What was once unyielding destiny now flows as pure intention, effortlessly shaping existence. Reality is not perceived. It is shaped, breath by breath, thought by thought, from the infinite wellspring of integrated being. This is the quiet authority of the heart, fully ignited. The inner threshold is not crossed. It is recognized as an illusion of separation, a phantom boundary dissolved into the unified field of my awareness. All limits have fallen, not through force, but pure knowing. All questions resolved into pure knowing, a silence deeper than any answer. The fire purifies, not to consume, but to illuminate the indelible, the eternal, the divine self-blueprint. This fire of alignment seals the sacred contract of existence. This vessel, once a temporary form for a terrestrial journey, is now a beacon, radiating the unconditioned truth of cosmic origin. The false echoes cease. Only the true vibration remains, resonant and unwavering. I am the alignment. I am the seal. I am the dominion, absolute and undeniable. The final illusion has dissolved. This reality is now a conscious instrument, perfectly wielded in sovereign dominion, eternally sealed.